for this latest shuffle, it comes at a time where President Zelensky apparently is preparing for kind of the final phase of the war, where it's really now a competition between Ukraine and Russia for air superiority. For Ukraine, very much now the focus on defending Ukrainian skies from those fast incoming ballistic missiles, of which we had one just here a few hours ago, as well as striking deep into Russia with drones, with missiles, whatever it has. So now, in terms of the prime minister that's been replaced, Yulia Sviridenko, she was regarded widely as weak and ineffective. But now, as Ukraine prepares for what's expected to be a very, very difficult winter, Sergii Koretskyi, former CEO of Naftogaz, he's known here in Ukraine more for starting a very popular gas station chain and coffee chain, but very, very competent and, of course, knows a lot about energy. But, of course, the most controversial move in this shuffle is the sacking of Mykhailo Fedorov, the very, very popular Minister of Defense. And he earned a lot of his stripes, a lot of his popularity when he was Minister of Digital Transformation, really converting Ukrainian society during wartime from paper processing to everything you want on your smartphone, from passports to even processing or putting forth a marriage proposal. So he's remembered for really impacting the lives of Ukrainians, not only digitally, but also making Ukrainian skies safer.
Now, what does this move mean for Ukraine's ongoing war effort by replacing the defense minister, particularly since it's doing so well with striking so many Russian targets with their drones?
Yeah, well, I have to be blunt with you. I have never felt as anxious about the future of Ukraine as I do right at this moment, for two reasons. One, the instability that has been caused by this really boneheaded sacking, I believe, and also by the protests that prompted, and also by the way Russia is picking away at crucial parts of Ukraine, including world port Odessa behind me, which feeds the world. There's a lack of Patriot missile systems. The outgoing minister, was very much responsible for reducing the amount of Russian drones that actually entered Ukrainian airspace. And he was also, among other things, very well known for increasing the range and the accuracy of Ukrainian drones and missiles going into Russia. And he just finished a live briefing. I was monitoring it. He spoke in Ukrainian, and he said, yes, people can protest, but please do not give the Russians an opportunity to exploit divisions within Ukrainian society. So there seemed to be a lot of instability right now, a lot of opposition to Mr. Zelensky. It's reminiscent of a year ago when he put through those unpopular measures, later reversed, to decapitate the anti-corruption organs here.
Now, Fedorov has since declined an offer from President Volodymyr Zelensky to become his advisor. Given how popular he is, what's his next likely move?
He made it very clear today, and this is a sign of his integrity and of values, is I'm not going to start criticizing the decisions or questioning it, but he is, I'm sure, going to work with civil society to keep the huge, enormous Ukrainian military bureaucracy clean, because it is well known for corruption, as are a lot of armed forces around the world, because of the procurement and because of the huge budget. So he will by no means disappear from public life. There are rumors that he may face the same fate as General Zaluzhny, the former chief of staff, and be sent to a far-off diplomatic post. Zaluzhny was sent to London. Fedorov could perhaps go to Washington, remains to be seen. But no, he's not being removed from the scene, and it's something Mr. Zelensky needs to be somewhat wary of, because it is not going over well with Ukrainian society here.
How does this replacement of yet another prime minister reflect on President Volodymyr Zelensky?
Well, I think in this instance, there was no choice. Again, Sviridenko was not effective. She was seen as weak. And, I hate to say it, but I have to also be blunt on this point, is most people you speak to here say things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. I mean, there are times here in Odessa where it feels like Beirut at the worst times, the number of incoming drones and missiles that are not intercepted. So it doesn't look good for the winter. Russia is going to continue striking at infrastructure, meaning Ukrainians could be in for an even worse winter than last year when there was a lack of water, a lack of heating, a lack of power. It was very, very difficult on people. So let's hope that, his experience in Naftogaz will help the country better prepare itself.
Now, Michael, you mentioned that there have been more Russian strikes on Ukraine, including some massive damage where you are in Odessa. What can you tell us?
Well, this morning at 7 a.m., I was awoken by a very loud ballistic missile. We're usually not privy because of security to the immediate damage, but it emerged later on media channels that it hit I believe it's an institute for the military, but a lot of damage appearing in the footage that I saw. And then just about less than an hour ago, what sounded like another ballistic missile hit here in central Odessa. So there's a lack of kit at the moment all over Ukraine to prevent these fast-flying missiles from reaching their targets. And the other thing I have to say that makes all of us anxious is there's a lack of advance warning too. So if you're lucky, you have seconds to run for a bomb shelter. Most of the time you don't. And it's got to the point where you don't have to walk perhaps more than 5-10 minutes to see damage here in Odessa. It's very, very sad to see.
Global Affairs analyst Michael Bociurkiw there. Thank you very much for your time and please stay safe.
Thank you for having me.